Hello, my 3,111 best friends. I have made $200,000 selling AI automations at Quimple. We worked with a lot of businesses from different industries with different use cases. Today, I will share the top 4 automations you can sell, which would be your best bet right now in 2024 and coming to 2025. As always, I do not want to give you the actual fish. By the way, I will by providing the automations later on, but I also want to teach you how to fish so that you can understand what businesses are ready to pay money for so that you can craft your offer around it. So let's start with the question. Why would someone pay someone to automate something? Or in our case, why would businesses pay you money for the automation? The answer is very simple: to either bring more money into the business or to save time. Usually they are very tied together because when you save time, you usually save time of the employees that currently do the task. So business do not need to pay for these activities. Thus, you're kind of saving money for the company, right? If we talk specifically about the activities that bring more cash into the bank, these are the things like generating leads, capturing prospects, reactivating database, upselling, cross-selling, improving customer retention, maybe improve sales, forecasting, dynamic pricing. So these are just a few examples of the things that if you can automate it with, chatbot, agent, automation, whatever, and can prove that it works, businesses will be happy to pay you for it because you automate it, it brings more money and you make money from the business, right? It's very straightforward. For the saving time, it's a bit different. For example, you can automate client communication. You can automate proposals, estimates, maybe onboarding process. It's like very similar to the communication, but these are the activities that resolve in the actual things that needs to be provided to the customer, usually. Automated data entry, financial reporting, streamlining the workflow processes, which is a very generic thing. Again, so these are how you should think about, creating the offer and understanding what are businesses, willing to pay for. Now, these are the problems. The problem is that it's either or. It's either a business already does the thing that you offer or does not. And there is no good or bad way because it really depends on your offer. For example, if we talk about lead generation, right? It's very broad topic, how to generate leads is the same type of question like how to make money. But for example, if the business does not generate any leads, usually it's not a good business to work with, right? You can say, yeah, Eugene, but they might have, an organic traffic they want to scale, thus they want to have more leads. So they did not generate any leads before, but now they want. Yes, of course, this is not the holy grail source of truth. I'm just generalizing the thing based on my experience. If they already do generate the leads, they would, either do it in-house or they would hire a team. You would need to compete on the pricing because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how you charge the client, retainer, one time, or per performance. They would calculate it based on the leads. So how much they pay and how much leads they get in return. So it's the pricing factor is really, really important here. Now, if we talk about something like a database reactivation, again, it's either the business does it or does not. So if the business does not do it currently, it's awesome, right? And businesses usually don't because this is a very specific thing. If they do, it's wow, because usually, as I said, they don't. Or if they do it through the some sort of a basic email marketing. Sometimes their sales department would call or reach out to the prospects especially if it's higher ticket product, quarterly, and try to convince them to buy and reactivate them again. Again, that lead is someone who been interested, been a prospect, then been a lead, but did not purchase the final service or product. So this is how we go and think about reactivating these leads. So usually businesses don't have it. Thus, it's a really good way to offer your services based on the performance because you come and say, hey, you do not do that currently. We can do it for you. We'll bring more money and you pay us on the performance base. You can negotiate, again, different pricing strategies, but just giving you an understanding how you should think about it. For the automating client communication, so if the business doesn't do that, it's kind of weird, right? So they don't communicate with the customers, or maybe they already do, but their services and products are on the like higher ticket side, so they don't have influx of leads, thus they only communicate with their like current clients. This is not something that you would want to automate, especially with like higher ticket services. If they do have a lot of communications, so you can offer like a streamlined process, right? But why? So go further. Maybe they have a lot of requests, right? That's why you want to streamline it. If they have a lot of requests, it's probably an established business. If it's an established business, probably they are not stupid. This is what I see a lot when it comes to offering AI services. A lot of people think that businesses really like stupid. They are like trying to do the things that they already know, trying to explain them the things that are pretty obvious for them. You need to understand, if usually if the owner grew the business and hire an additional stuff, usually these people know what they're doing. Thus, you can improve certain things, and especially with something like database reactivation, it's very niche down task, which they might not do. But when it comes to client communication, everyone knows that it's very important. And if they have a lot of prospects interested, they would probably care a lot about making sure that everyone is happy again, usually. So these are kind of the problems, right, that you would experience if you do not really think in depth into your specific offer to a very specific industry in the business. Now, I will give you 4 best things that I think can, make you a lot of money if you use them correctly in the correct industry. I have been selling automations, as some of you know, for more than a year and a half now. I was starting with very basic offerings. I had an experience in ecom, so I kind of started with, and I still do own a few ecom brands, but we were selling on Amazon and Etsy. So I was reaching out in cold to the ecom brand with an impression that I would speak the same language. Then I was like testing a lot of different industries, since my first client was signed after like 3, I think, month of sending cold emails. I've sent like 60 or 70,000 emails to get the first prospect. I hopped on like 100 maybe sales calls before actually closing the client. Yes, I did close multiple like prototypes and the demos, but when going back, unfortunately I do not have like the recordings of my old calls, but I remember that my offering was like based on my understanding on the business and my view on the company, and it was not actually kind of solving the real problems. So I do think, and this is what I see right now, that the best automations, agents, whatever, chatbots, whatever you call it, like the service in the AI space is the service that related to demand generation. So these are demand generation activities. And maybe for you it's very obvious. For me it was not, because again, when we are helping the business to generate demand, not necessarily leads, let's call it demand, it means that you have more responsibility. So usually they would would want to pay you on the performance basis, because if you deliver the results, you're happy, like they are happy to pay you for it. Plus they're used to working with other SMMA that do the Google ads, they do like the SEO, the PPC, whatever. Thus they've been scammed a lot if it's an established business. That's why when you are talking that and offering the things that will result in more money in the bank, right, they will be kind of more skeptical. That's why you need to be very specific. You need to preferably show the case studies. If you don't have them, you can offer free things and work on the performance basis. Okay, so now let's talk about the automations that would generate additional demand for the business. Again, it's either the business doesn't currently do these things, or the things that they do are outdated. Here's the productized service. So essentially, this is not your goal. the goal should not be to create some sort of an offering that can be productized, especially when you're starting out, because most of the offers can be productized, but the business, like when it comes to like making more money and like driving traffic or generating leads, they do not want to feel like it's a productized service. Again, it really depends on the pricing. I'm just saying that there's a lot of narrative right now on the YouTube and in the space that you like kind of need to build the products that can be productized, the services that can be productized. Should not be your goal, but you can keep it in mind. Okay. Now let's talk about the 4 best AI automations right now. First one, AI cold outreach. This is what I do right now, and I'll be honest, I was not offering it as a separate service until I sold one by mistake. Let me show you what it means. First, I will like blur everything out. Obviously, when it comes to the cold outreach, you can think about it as the cold calls, cold DMs, or cold emails. Cold calling, okay, it's questionable, like it's very hard to offer it as a service if you don't have like an established team. So, but cold emails is a different story because you can build an infrastructure around it, offer it to the business as a one-time payment so that their team can manage it, or you can work on the performance basis. On the DMs, it's like a whole nother story. Usually, we use, like as an agency, we've been always using either Instantly or Smartly. I will blur all the information so that you don't see, but this is one of our newer accounts. I was actually recording a video where I was going through a campaign launch from A to Z. So, and here's a quick announcement. I am launching 99 Players. Some of you know, this is a project which is specifically designed for the people that are serious about the space and want a shortcut to start, making and money selling AI automations to businesses. This is the new project. There is a first link in the description. The waitlist is open. It will be launched November 9th. So I share some details to the people on the waitlist. I'm mentioning this because there I recorded a separate, it is not a course, but there you will have an access to the video where I go over everything from the campaign launch to, creating everything step by step and actually, showing the results from the cold emails that I got. Anyways, so what I'm saying is that you can build a similar system for the business, use a software like Instantly or Smartly, get them the domains, the emails, the prospects. The prospects can be bought on somewhere like Sales Navigator or ListKit, Apollo, ZoomInfo. Okay, it's very expensive. You do not necessarily need to buy the prospects here. You can, work with third-party people from like the Fiverr or like other resources. I will, again, share all the details about the cold outreach inside 99 Players for either guys that are looking like me to run it for themselves or looking to sell it as a service to their clients. Here is the main point. I was never trying to offer it as a service. Not sure why. Again, to sign my first client, I sent 60, 70,000 emails, right? And I already had like probably 40 domains and like 80 email accounts. So, and I was like already there, kind of understanding that you can need to personalize the process, but there were not the tools were not there yet. So it's like kind of doing a bit of a tricks with spin tags. So what I'm saying is that when I was offering my, chatbots, agents, or automations, I was never mentioning that we and I, at that time I was alone, but I was saying we can like generate leads for them through the cold emails. I'm not sure why. So here's what happened. I had a prospect and he's still by this day one of our customers on the cold email service, even though I never like actually offered it as a standalone service, but they are asking, so I was like, okay. So this is the client. He is in the procurement niche. So essentially they are providing organic ingredients for the manufacturer, for the food manufacturer. So there's like the manufacturers that, whatever, like produce canned food. And these manufacturers need a lot of ingredients, right? And they usually source it themselves, but there are like some guys that kind of like drop shippers that provide them the ingredients. So it's a B2B business. And I think I hopped in the call and I was like pitching, I think at that time, probably like the email automation or something that, would generate proposals and estimates to the clients. And he was saying the same thing that I already told you, like, hey, Eugene, like our average order value is huge. So we don't receive like a lot of proposal requests, right? The only thing that we are interested in is to generate like more demand, to generate more leads. And I was like, oh, okay, I understand. And he said something like, yeah, like we've been trying the cold emails, but it didn't really work. I like your email, so something like what you do. And I was like, okay, by the way, like, did you have an infrastructure to do that properly? How? I was just curious. I was not at that time. I was not even like planning to sell the service. I was like, hey, do you, what did you try? And it was like, yeah, we had like one domain. Obviously, they have like their domain.com, and they purchased a new email like sales ad in the domain.com, and they were like running the campaigns from there. From I believe it was like Mailchimp, and they had like horrible reply rate, everything in open rate, obviously. And I was like, hey, you know what? And at that time, something sparked, and I saw, hey, by the way, I forgot to mention that we also kind of offering, we are building. How was I framing it? I said like we are building systems, AI, lead generation systems for business, something like that. And he was like interested, and my pitch was very simple. You are on the call, right? So I send you the cold email, so something caught your attention, right? That's why we can do the same thing for you. To be completely honest, I was not sure if it's going to work. I knew for me that people were like opening my emails, right? So I knew how to do that. And they were like replying to my emails. I generated like 100 meetings. So I knew that it kind of worked, but I was not sure if it's going to work in the industry. And what happened, long story short, this is one of the best, clients that we have by this day in terms of the ROI on the investment that they got. They are paying us a retainer, I think it's like $3,000 still. We manage it, like it's very simple. So we build them the infrastructure. I think we updated the infrastructure maybe already like 2 or 3 times. And we're like just bought the leads, it was like 20 or 30,000 manufacturers. That's it, and we're like literally using like 3 or 4 messages. The thing is that it works because they have a very, very unique offer. And like manufacturers like do not usually receive this type of offers, right? So that's why it was like, for me, it's very easy. And if I knew that, it was like very easy sell. And I could even probably charge them on the performance basis. I would make much more money because they grew a lot, okay? Like a lot, okay? And I'm planning actually to record an interview for the case studies on the website because like it's one of the best clients that we had yet. So what I'm saying is that cold outreach can work and you can build the infrastructures for the clients. Again, same thing can be with LinkedIn, right? With LinkedIn, it's kind of a bit like more difficult because you would need to either like use company profiles or the owner profiles or someone profile. They would not risk it, so you need to have like more case studies, and they would need to have more. They would need to trust you more because again, for the emails, we do not offer them the infrastructure that will be connected to like their domain, so we're not risking their reputation of their domain or the emails, right? So we're like doing a separate thing, and if it's like breaks, nothing happens. With the DMs, it's a bit different. Anyways, I think you get the idea. I think this is the OP thing that you can actually offer right now. Okay, now database reactivation with Voice AI. You know that, if you were on this channel, put a like. This is, I already mentioned it several times. Essentially, I'll also blur this out. So essentially, like this is one of the use cases that I was like showing on this channel earlier. We have an insurance client. He had like a lot of leads that were kind of interested but didn't purchase the policy. So what we did is we exported everything from the HubSpot into the Airtable. Then we connected a Vapi. We built like a quick Vapi assistant that is like trained on the company information. And when the prospect goes from like when the automation triggered inside the Airtable, it goes and makes the API request to the Vapi, so it calls the prospect. And as you can see here, again, I'll like blur this information. I not blur this information. No, this is like okay to share. So essentially, these are kind of the variables, right? And you can send the variables from the Airtable about the prospect to the Vapi, so that Vapi, when it calls, it has all the context about the prospect. Again, so I have more videos on the channel. I think this is really good way to offer your services, because if you're starting out, you can work on the performance basis, again, because like you do not need to charge if you're confident that you're going to deliver the results. At least this is how businesses will frame it, and this is the objection that you would need to handle, right? Or you can like get all of the case studies and charge a lot, because you bring a lot of money into the company, right? This is what I started to do more often right now. I'm planning to share more use cases on this channel. By the way, I have like, there's, again, the first link is the 99 players, so you can sign up for the wait list and like wait for the update. The second link is my resource hub. It's free. So all of the automations that I do, all of the scripts, all of the make.com scenarios, all of the like prompts for the Vapi, for whatever, and the templates for the Airtable and the scripts, everything is available for free on my resource hub. So you put the email, you get access, done. Okay. Now let's go to the third one. Third one is the retention, upsell, cross-sell with AI agents. Okay, so this is not as straightforward in terms of the generating leads, but it's very good use case for different AI agents if you know how to use it properly, and more importantly, if you offer it to the right business, right? Okay, so here is one of the bots that we did for a cleaning business, right? This is what I was kind of explaining. This is one of the videos that I did already in the channel. So as you can see, this is a simple chatbot. And here we have like a form, right? So when a prospect says that he wants to order a service, we're providing different options of like what we offer. The thing is that once the prospect provided the details, a salesperson would contact them. Now, before that, AI will analyze the information and provide right before it exits the chat. It would sorry, it's not in this use case. No, because here we provide the information and we go to the next step. Yeah, so it's not here. Right now, we are providing all the email, the phone number. So here's how it works. Once the prospect provides the information, once the prospect provides the information here, we are obviously like populating the lead inside the business management system. But also there is an automation on the backend that I believe in 6 minutes, it will send him an email with an additional upsell, right? And so that we can get a reply. And we're like, actually, because we're like still actively working with the client, we're currently building an SMS, sequence, same thing, because we just started with the email and got a few prospects interested. So that's why the business decided to also do it through the email, through the SMS. So to upsell them additional service. We're not trying to do it here just yet, because we're like testing how many people will actually complete the form compared to the people that start the chat, since it's kind of a new thing. And as you can see, these are the bigger forms, right? So they need to input a lot of information. They have a hard to get service, plus they would have and this is my plan to upsell them upsell them a retention thing, or an upsell thing, because the upsell is what I explained you now. But on the retention, they are, if this is the cleaning business, so when they work, for example, with the commercial properties primarily, they would need the cleaning every quarter or every year, which is depending on the cleaning service. So instead of just waiting for the prospect to order the service, we will actively contact them once the time is up AI will call them and say, hey, by the way, we offered you the service. It's time, to kind of do the cleaning again. To be like completely honest, I did not even offer this thing to them. I'll explain why. Because when I'm trying to pitch the service to the business, I'm always trying to be as straightforward as possible and focus on one specific thing. In this case, it was the thing with the like lead nurture and qualification process. And here I was not even offering the upsells. Then once we build it, I said, okay, so let's try the automation on the backend. So the automation is built on Make. It's not on the GoHighLevel, since they have their own like system, right? And like I didn't want to ask them to transfer to a new system. So it's like we go one by one. So now we are like developing the SMS sequence. After it's done, I will hopefully pitch them the retention thing, because again, like they just want to see more results from the current solution. But it's very, very good use case when it comes to the AI. Really depends on the business, because for example, the cleaning business is relied on retention a lot, right? When it comes to the like wholesalers or the e-commerce brands, the businesses that sell physical products, is also very important for them, because if they if it's like a supplement brand that offers subscription for their like vitamins. Okay, so I thought if I really want to share this information with you, I'm not sure, like I know a lot of the guys do not like go and watch all of my videos, but if you do, here's a bonus for you. I was like thinking if I want to share this or not, because I'm really planning to do it myself, whatever. I think the e-com market is huge anyways. So what you can do is, if you find the businesses on the e-com that offer subscriptions, once the subscription is done, like for example, like the person cancels the subscription, usually I know this, guys, like I am the e-com owner myself. We're not actively selling on Shopify, so again, we're like primarily on Amazon and Etsy, but I have a lot of friends in the e-com. So they like usually have like Klaviyo campaigns. Maybe some of them like have even SMS campaigns inside Klaviyo that will kind of try to offer like additional things for the prospects that have like canceled the subscription, and try to like retain them. As one thing is retain them, and once they canceled it, we'll try to reactivate them. How about AI? Like for example, in one day, so that it feels like more natural, we'll call the prospect that has canceled the subscription and ask for the information. Usually there will be like either a problem with the product, a problem with the price, or the problem with the service, right? The product being like the outcome. So the two of the three can be worked. So we can work with two. We cannot like work with the product. It means that if they don't like the product, obviously we can like do some manipulations and say, hey, you need to try another one, but like it's probably not going to be the case. But if it's the problem with other two, these are the things that AI can work with and try to lower the price or try to reactivate the subscription by like offering additional services, or really depends on the company. For example, I've been like one of my friends selling supplements on the higher ticket. So their like products is like $300-400, and once the prospect buys the subscription, they offer like a free consultation. So it's like something like that. For example, when we say, hey, by the way, if like, do you need some more guidelines, we can like kind of get someone on the call so that he can help. Even if you reactivate just like 5 to 10% of the people who cancel the subscription, you can imagine how much money it can bring to the business. And they are not doing it actively, and they will not. That's why it's very, very narrow niche. Okay, guys, I'm not sure if I needed to share it with you. Like this video will get anyways like 500 views, and probably like 10 people will see it. So good luck. If you were looking for an offer, this is your offer, bro. The only way is to actually understand how to present it to the client, because cold emails for how to like get the eyeballs to the offer, because the cold emails for the e-com is questionable. I hope you liked it. This is, guys, why I'm building 99 players, right? I have so many things to share. I have like a lot of experience. I'm one of the only real guys, okay? I feel like I'm the only, okay, but I know a few other good dudes that are actually selling automations. I have so many things to share, and yeah, so this is kind of your place of truth. This is if you if you're serious, it's gonna be a paid thing. It's not the free value whatever, because I provide a lot of free value on my YouTube, Instagram. Subscribe to my Instagram stories daily. I talk to my subscribers all day long. Twitter, LinkedIn. So I provide a lot of free value, and that's my way to make money from you guys, okay, by providing you the best value on the market. Anyways, okay, so I think you got the idea, and I hope you've written down the offer. Put thanks in the comments if you actually liked it. Okay, now the prospect research for a sales team. This is a very, I don't think that you would sell it as a standalone offer like this. You would not offer, hey, we can research your prospects for a sales team. So you should go in depth into the niche. You would pick one niche, pick this the team size, reach out to the SDRs, trying to, probably not the SDRs, the directors of the sales depths. Anyways, yeah. So the idea here is that let's say there's a sales department in some sort of a B2B company, for example, a wholesaler, right? And they are actively, so they are capturing the leads go into the system, and then they have a sales department that calls these leads and try to close the services. Usually this the salespeople will not have additional context about the prospect, right? So it means that they'll have the context that was provided by the form. Maybe they go to the website and they search for it briefly because they have a lot of calls. So what if we, instead of kind of cold calling, so it's a warm call since the prospect was qualified, but instead of not knowing a lot information about the business, you can provide the tools an automation that will research the prospect before the sales call, so that the salesman has an easy time to sell it. Okay, so you would do that through a platform like Clay. This is, again, guys, I have in 99 Players, I explain how I specifically use it, because I use it for the email personalization. But here's the deal. So let's say there's a prospect, right? And for example, this prospect could potentially fill out the form, or was generated in our system. And now we are a sales dev. So instead of just finding the number, right, and call the number, it's not, they don't use spreadsheets usually, okay, but whatever. We have the prospect name, and we have the prospect company name, in the details, the website. So what we can do, we can create an agent that will go to the website, research it, create a summary, create a bullet points on what can be covered and how exactly we can help, can go to the LinkedIn, to the personal LinkedIn, to the company LinkedIn, see how many people there are in the company. So go to the website, maybe find the certain things that they the clients that they worked with, if it's a B2B company. So we are offering to other businesses, so other businesses probably offer services to either other businesses or consumers. So do the in-depth research, right? And after it's done, we can populate this information inside the CRM near the prospect. And now when someone will call this prospect, he has all the information about him and say, hey, by the way, I saw that you were kind of studying in Stanford. How did you like it? Something like that is super stupid thing, but whatever. And now the prospect will think, well, okay, so he kind of, how do you know, right? And obviously, you know that by going to the LinkedIn, you can do it manually. But if the sales dev has a lot of repetitive things and repetitive calls, the SDRs would not do it manually, right? You would need to really dial your offerings. But one of the examples that I wanted to give is that I was, as I mentioned a few months ago, we actually tested, we run multiple campaigns for the cold calls. We've been doing cold calls. Not me, I hired a native native caller. So I found, I think it was like half, like 6, maybe 5 months ago, I found one dude, and his cold call approach was like really interesting. So he was like calling the prospect saying, hey John, we don't know each other. This is a cold call. If or no, this is we don't know each other. If I tell you that this is a cold call, will you throw your phone off the window? And he was like, no. And this is actually the pitch line that we did. We tested multiple ones. He was and is a sales team trainer or cold calling trainer, right? For the sales teams. So he is cold calling, trying to engage and show his expertise. So if the prospect is already 1 minute on the call with him, it means that he knows what he's doing, right? And now, if the business owner don't think that his like salespeople are that skilled, he becomes interested, because if he caught his attention, probably he can train his team to caught attention of their clients. I think, do you understand where I'm coming from? So here, cold calls would like work a lot, like would work great here, but whatever, on what's not sure about your situation, but you can leverage this system yourself, trying to impress the actual prospect. Here's how we did it with the cold emails. Not offering, so I was not actually offering like this service. Same thing as here. I think we sold like 2 solutions. They were like pretty cheap for like $2,000-$3,000, because we essentially like set up Clay for them, and like I did like a sales training for the team, right? And they're managing it themselves, so we're not like actively charging for it. So, but what I do sometimes is like I personalize all the cold emails, and I say, hey, they reply to the cold email, then we hop on the call, and they say, hey, like I liked your email, whatever. And I sometimes say that it like this email was not like written by me, it was generated fully by AI. And as you can see, we know how to capture users' attention and how to leverage AI in our business. So it caught your attention, and now you are my prospect. So we can do the same thing for you, right? Again, I was not pitching them this specific service for the like prospect research, but they understand that, okay, so AI works. Because there are still like some things that you need to explain to the people about AI in general, that AI can be used in a lot of different ways. And some people like just want to know that you know some things in the AI before actually talking to you, right? That's why sometimes in the second email I was saying, hey, by the way, just don't want to fake it. The last email that you received was like AI generated, but as you can see, you got interested, so that's why it's working. And we can do similar things for you, offering helping you to integrate AI into your business. Okay, guys, I was planning that it's gonna be a 10-minute video. I guess it's like 30 minutes now or whatever. Thanks for watching. Again, 99 Players Resource Hub, it's free. 99 Players is not free, but it's the only thing that you would need to succeed in the space. Thanks for watching. Peace.